Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gooner Gathering. My name is Posh Bertie, the poshest man in all of sports entertainment, who, believe it or not, is not as hungover as I thought I'd be. In fact, not at all after last night at my dad's leaving party. But joining me is Gooner Gathering's founding father. It's Mr. Gooner Lee Meads. How are you, sir?
Hello, everybody. I'm very, very well, thank you. Yes, I'm not hungover either, so that's good. That's for us a good start. Strictly on the Dr. Phil Brooks.
Absolutely. What I as I mentioned yesterday, after months in the making, because my dad's stepping down from his job, we had a leaving party yesterday, and which I, along with a couple of others, organised, and he may or may not have came out to Cody Rose's theme music before doing a speech, which I specifically wanted to happen. You can see the video on my Twitter or X page at Posh30. That's a cheap plug there. And I will say, my dad's brother was also there, and I want to give a special shout out to my cousin Louis, who watches this. He watches Gooner Gathering. He told me yesterday.
Hey.
So Louis, thank you very much. I hope you're watching this. You've got a special shout out there. He's a good bloke. We're about 2 weeks apart in terms of age, so we could have been de facto twins.
Goodness me. Can you imagine two of them? Oh my God.
Seeing double, 4 Posh Berties. Exactly. AFC always says, big up. Good to see you, AFC always. Arsenal's last league win was on October 5th against Southampton. Hopefully that can change tomorrow as we are facing aside from their last result, quite an impressive looking Forest side, who I think at the moment have been one of the biggest overachievers so far of the Premier League season. And safe to say we've been one of the biggest underachievers, I think. Some say because of injuries, but that's a debate we'll get into at some point. And they're going to be facing each other at the Emirates tomorrow. Mr. Meadows, what are your thoughts on this upcoming game after an international break gone? We're all refreshed, apart from Ben White. What say you?
Look, it's nice to come off these international breaks with a home game. I think that's certainly going to help. If you can hear a very loud Miss Amy Meadows in the background, I forgot the remote control. I haven't got the volume button on tonight, and this is all the time of night she gets a bit loud. So I apologise to all the masses who are watching us. Look, I get AFC always his comment down here as well. Statistically, absolutely correct. Yes, October the 5th. It is a little bit, how can I put it? With the international break, figures are a little bit distorted. That's the word I'll use. I actually thought our last game we played much better than we had been doing. The Chelsea game, obviously. I thought we were rather unfortunate, to be honest with you. But on the run of fixtures that we had, injuries or not, it was an okay kind of performance. I'm looking forward to seeing Kai back at home. I'm looking forward to getting us back at Emirates, where actually we've got a lovely unbeaten record for some time. A few things tactically I'm looking out for here on this one as well, because of the way Forest play as well. But I'll dig into that in a minute. There is something we will go off some of the injuries. That's probably a good idea before we sort of deep dive into Forest itself. Does that sound like a good idea to you?
Yeah, that sounds good. So, what our glorious leader said in his press conference was Saka and Rice are fit and ready. Calafiori is back. Ben White is going to be out for, and I quote, months. There's no specific time in which he'll be back or how long he's out for, but it looks like it's going to be quite a while. So hopefully we can make sure that Timber is going to be fit for a lot of games, because I don't want to see Thomas Partey play at right back anymore. I want to see him play in the field where he is good, and he has been most of this season. He has been a good player for us.
Can I answer?
As I was saying, this means Timber will be playing at right back, I think, especially now Calafiori is back.
Hang on. Let me just turn off Amy there. Right. So yes, I do think it is going to be Timber going over to right back. Just reading it very, very carefully, because I do have the presser notes in front of me. I'm reading it to say that I don't think Calafiori has done a lot of training. I know he's done a session perhaps. And being how Forest have been playing, and being that they are, just for this game in particular, I'm kind of thinking, because they, I believe, are the team in the Premier League who have had statistically the least amount of possession in the whole of the league. Like in a game, they'll have about 43%, I believe. I'm kind of thinking the unconventional, your favourite, Mr. Inverted, might come in and play left back.
Not against Forest. Forest are a very good side, and I'm not I think it's very risky to play Zinchenko against a team like Notts Forest, especially when we're actually looking to get a win.
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
He'll get caught napping in defence, and then missed a striker who's in form at the moment, Chris Wood, will probably slot the ball in the back of the net due to a mistake made from Mr. Inverted. So, yeah, that
can you hear me out? Can you hear me out though? And I'll give you like I said, Forest are one that they don't have a lot of the ball. What they do have is an excellent striker who scored, I think, well over half their goals. A bit of a career resurgence, actually, in Chris Wood. I think we're kind of a little bit surprised on his age, because I think you said he was 32.
I thought he was older. I thought he was like 36.
Yeah. And he's a guy who's been excellent for Forest. But listen to very carefully what I'm saying, because I don't think Forest will have a lot of the ball. Therefore, Zinchenko will be in a midfield position, and I do think we'll have that sort of back three kind of situation. A little bit unusual, but it's just how I think we will work at home. It might be, and I wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't want to see the other option, which AFC always has suggested, the Partey at right back, because I don't want to see that. Although, let's make sure we're giving Partey credit, because he's done that to a reasonable standard as well. I don't think it's his best, but he's done a job, because of Ben being missing, because of Timber being missing, and everything else.
Or you do what I do, and that's not play any inverted fullbacks at all. Especially if Calafiori is fit to return.
I'd just be worried about rushing him. But
well, there's Kieran Tierney's back apparently. I don't know.
He's not though.
Was it all fake news?
So not fake news. Let's look into it very, very carefully. Kieran. So I'm going to quote from Arteta here, because obviously he's been pictured in training. Of course, he comes out when it's the coldest day of the year. By the way, what a man! But he says, Kieran, not yet. He's had a couple of sessions with the team, but he's not ready to be with the team. Again, Tomiyasu's still out for a bit. He's going to be away for a couple of weeks. So yeah, tough on that position. But being we know Zinchenko played into the international break, I believe he actually scored a goal on his international break as well. It's just my gut feeling, just coming at thinking about how they play tactically and stuff like that. I do still see us doing that inverted thing. I know you're not a fan. I'm not necessarily a fan of it either. Don't get me wrong. I just think that's what he's going to do.
AFC always says, I think Arsenal will score more than one goal tomorrow. The question is how many goals we'll concede because we don't look great in defence. Well, if you want my early prediction, I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal. We'll go 2-0 up. We concede in the 84th minute and we hold on for dear life in the last few minutes. It seems like one of those games.
Isn't our home record something quite good at the moment? I know I read something about. I think we've only conceded 2 goals at home in the season, despite the knives are being out for David Raya. I've seen too much rubbish about him being flop of the season so far.
Saying we conceded more than 2 goals at home.
What? At home?
Against Leicester.
Oh, well, hang on, let's get it right.
And then against Southampton, we conceded 1 goal.
Right.
We conceded against Brighton. So it's more than 2. Against Liverpool, we conceded 2.
No, that's true. That's true. But look, hello.
We've got a good winning record. We've got a good unbeaten record.
Yes, I think you're right in that. Even against a very tricky Liverpool side, we managed to get out that.
Yeah.
I won't say unscathed, but with a point or something. So look, I got to say, as much as the gloom merchants are looking above us and maybe to my left, I do feel confident about it. I do feel confident. But Forest were even good in their last game against Newcastle. I'll give them that, despite that they did lose. I saw the opening half hour, 40 minutes of that, and for they're organised. They've got a good setup. They're defending pretty well, and instead, like we said, we've bigged up Chris Woods. So hopefully that don't bite me in the backside tomorrow afternoon.
Well, how it works, because usually if I praise an Arsenal player well, they have a stinker in the next game.
Right.
I'm just thinking, if I constantly praise Chris Wood, he might have a stinker tomorrow. But maybe it only works for Arsenal. I don't know. I don't know what my jinxing is like.
Well, we can see what happens, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. Touch wood, famous last words. I do think we'll win tomorrow. It's going to be 2-1. 2-1 is my prediction.
Do you want me to give mine?
Yeah, go on then.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to come out swinging. I'm going to say 4 goals to 0. How about that? Would you take that? Right.
Against the good Forest side, that will be a very, very good result.
Go on, Kai.
How many goals will he score?
Oh, it's the Kai trio. There you go.
Are you sure you're not the hungover one?
I'm clear, sir. I haven't touched any. It's fine. Mrs. M's in the building. Hello.
Oh my word!
It's a run-in. She's here. Adrenaline in a soul.
Oh.
I know where I got the 2 from now. The last 4 home games, we've won last 4 home league games against Forest. 11 goals to 2. That's where I got that from. But again, where was the? I think last season was the first time we'd seen them. Was that right? For an awful long time, back at the start of the season.
It was. That was when Saka scored that spectacular goal, I think, from just on the edge of the box.
That's correct. That's of course the day that old Timber got hurt, wasn't it? So
it was. Yeah, that was
possibly where the defensive plans went up in smoke.
That was when I said if Eddie Nketiah got top goal scorer in all competitions, I shaved my head, and he scored our first goal of the Premier League campaign. But Eddie being Eddie, he
leave the memories alone, Eddie.
Only one of the few times I was happy with Nketiah was when he stopped his out of form ability stopped me from having to shave my head.
Out of form ability. Wow, that's a good word. I'll have to look at that one. It's almost like
out of form ability. That's 4 words.
I thought you extended it. It was good. It reminded me of bounce back ability on Soccer AM.
That's not as bad as tri-monthly 3-week push.
Someone's been watching too much Wrestle Talk.
AFC always is a bit more pessimistic than I am, actually,
Okay.
which is he's going for a Desmond on this occasion.
And Desmond Tutu.
We need to win this. We need to win this.
Do you know what? It's got the feeling for me of, you know, like when they went to Dubai, you know, after. Well, do you know? I kind of remember this sort of stage last season, and we had the most fluid of starts. I do remember our dear Fran doing a video on her channel, Goal Art, saying that, you know, the flowing football wasn't there and things weren't clicking. I kind of feel it's almost like the same situation, you know.
Well, I don't think the players went to Dubai, and it was Salt Bay Steaks that did it. I was told.
Is that what it was? Did they even release that merch we talked about?
I hope not.
But you get what I mean, though. It's a similar sort of scenario. We're coming back off the, you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We haven't been in the best of form. It's kind of good, actually, that some of our the top clubs in the country haven't been in the best of form themselves. Manchester City, for example, have come in on the bounce of a few bad results as well, and yet they for some reason reward their manager for a new contract. Can you believe that? It's madness.
Well, he's actually won a lot of silverware to earn him that contract extension, unlike some other managers out there.
I don't know. Everybody's got a price, I suppose.
Well, Man City have got Tottenham this weekend, and Tottenham are one of those teams that can lose to a small club but beat the bigger clubs. So that could be quite interesting to see how that goes.
No, not this scenario again.
Oh no, we're not. We're not in that situation. We're not.
No.
Don't expect me to go all North London United and all that nonsense that happened.
Absolutely. No. It's a little bit early for the season for that, isn't it?
AFC says you can't win the league in November, but you can definitely lose the league in November. I know Lee, and also Dom from our channel as well is going to disagree with me when I say this, but I believe that the league is over for us.
Okay.
But that's my opinion. And I think that might be the opinion of a lot of fans as well. But if you've watched Dom's video, cheap plug, Arsenal domination, please check his channel out. He said it's far from over. So, yes.
It's the nation of domination. Yeah, absolutely. He's released a video tonight as well, so make sure you check that out. So, yeah, no, you're right. Look, you're entitled to your view as well, Push. I mean, and I can understand. I can understand the reactions that, you know, well, we're obviously not going to win the league or whatever. Them gaps can be taken back quite quickly over a couple of funny results. Premier League's a bit odd, isn't it? Sometimes we've been in worse positions and come back from it. So. Certainly in my lifetime, I can remember a 12-point gap at one point.
Oh, certainly in my lifetime. Remember 2020.
Good times. Yeah.
So another thing you wanted to discuss was about one Mikel Arteta. The game against Nottingham Forest, I believe, is his 250th game as a manager.
Absolutely.
Is there anything you'd like to add on this?
Yeah, there's a few things I do want to say.
He's the second longest serving manager at the moment in the Premier League.
Is that right? And you know what? It's not lost on Mikel either. You know, because he was certainly in the press quite humble in the words that he was saying about the club and how he's got to the position where he's at. Yeah, grateful is the word he used. Very happy and enjoyed every minute of it. It does acknowledge, you know, that it could have been. Yeah, thank you. It was. Some of it hasn't been of the easiest of times, particularly in the what you're talking about there, and that start of that dreadful start where anything and everything was going wrong. But you know, I saw even in there what he was trying to do, and I've stood by him, and it's led to arguments and falling outs and everything on this place. But he transformed, as far as I'm concerned, us going in a completely wrong direction where people weren't even showing up in the stadium at the back end of Unai Emery's reign. Some of the fans won't acknowledge that or remember it for their reasons, because I don't know, for some reason they don't like Mikel's way of management, and they don't like the way he comes across sometimes. I kind of like it.
My argument here is like we do have, aside from the striker position, we do have a better squad than we did in the Emery days. I think our defence is a lot better than back when we had Mustafi, Kolasinac, Socrates, and those players. So I think what my point is, it would be interesting to see what Unai Emery, if he was manager now, what he would do with the squad we have. I don't know. That's just. But look, we are where we are now, and I will say that Arteta does. I will give Arteta credit for taking us from being in near the relegation zone, losing at home to Burnley, to being title contenders in the space of 2 seasons. That is something that is something worthwhile. But when you've been in charge of a club like Arsenal for nearly 5 years, and you've won 1 piece of silverware, it doesn't look good from that perspective. So, in the words of Carlito, that is not cool. So you need to, this is why I think, look, the league may be over, but we got to focus on. I know this sounds a bit bigger fish to fry of me, but if we try and win the cup this season, that will be a good thing. But whether I trust him or the squad to do that when it involves pressure, I don't know.
Well, we have the quarterfinal coming up against Crystal Palace in December, don't we? That'd be interesting. I mean, I am kind of part of me thinks, that's an opportunity. That's a real opportunity to get to a semi-final. Then there's part of my mind of just, I don't know. I can see foreshadowing of a video. Nkechi has knocked us out. I can just see me going up on one.
I was thinking this. By God, is that Rob Holding's music? By God. No, do you know what? I don't want to mention this certain club in Kent, but there's a I reckon in a few years' time Rob Holding will be playing for that club in Kent that play in red shirts. I think it's a possibility. I really do.
You're taking on anyone from Palace, aren't you? So
we would take anyone from, I don't know, Bognor Regis FC or something. Like we'll take anyone that can actually put the ball in the back of the net. AFC always says the Kroenke should focus on Arsenal winning major honours instead of expanding the Emirates Stadium. Yeah, I
think there's stuff that's going on behind the scenes and that in that respect, but the focus is, in my opinion, it's always got to be the playing side, getting the results and stuff like that. And sure, we haven't had the best of starts. I agree with that, but like I said, I think there's still plenty to play for. Yeah, and the Saliba thing, well, I think we've mentioned it before. The Real Madrid thing keeps on popping up because for some reason, they what they call it, Galactico or whatever. They do seem to bring people in, forgetting, of course, that these things cost money, and I don't actually think there's a lot of money in the Spanish game at the moment. Sorry about Missy being a bit loud on this tonight. I'm sorry, but
don't think there's any money in the Spanish game at the moment. Wasn't it not that long ago when Real Madrid splashed the cash on Jude Bellingham? Like,
you understand what I mean? No. You understand what I mean? The financial fair play and all that sort of thing. These extraordinary fees. Barcelona get investigated and all that sort of thing. And look, I don't know. Look, it's just this man's opinion. I don't know. I ain't got their book, thankfully.
I do think if we don't win it, if we go trophyless again this season, I think the good players will start thinking, why am I wasting my time at a club that doesn't win anything when I can go to a club like Real Madrid that is, a club like Real Madrid for example.
That got battered 4-0 by Barcelona the other week.
Very true, but or they might, if Barcelona get their finances together, they might go to Barca. You never know.
Maybe,
So,
yeah. Look, again,
yeah,
speculation, the transfer window. Well, transfer window as a whole, I wouldn't get too excited about, to be honest with you. Again, they might throw a surprise at us. They did with Trossard, a couple of years ago, didn't they? So, but
they did, and he's rumoured to be signing a new contract. Whilst I have been underwhelmed, to put it politely, with Trossard this season, purely that's, when you're trying to... I don't think the 10 is his natural position. In fact, I know it's not his natural position based on how he's played. Yeah. But last season, when he's been on the wing, he was instrumental to us. So I think that whilst I understand the criticism on Trossard so far this season, I think people do have very short memories of what he's done last season. Hopefully, now that Odegaard's back and Trossard can play in his natural position, he can start being the big game player. There's the word, the three words.
There it is.
We know that he can be. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I kind of got converted with Trossard with you because firstly, I was maybe a little underwhelmed with the whole thing. Then when you see a player a bit closer, you see what different attributes he has to other players. I mean, he doesn't have the overriding pace that Martinelli does, but what he does, he's got that ability to find a clever ball. He's quite an intelligent footballer. Remember that goal against Liverpool. That one really sticks out in my brain.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I said before. I thought he could, with that intelligence, could play in that number 10 position. I don't think that's worked. But then now Odegaard's back, and hopefully he's not had any sort of reaction to his injury coming back against Chelsea. I'm not sure how much training he's done. When you come back into a game like intensity, it's kind of difficult, isn't it? To your body adjusts and all that, so it'll be a bit of a shock to the old system. But if he's back playing in 10, hey, look, there's a chance even tomorrow if the game goes well, and to say we're in a decent position. I know this is, that ideal scenario, playing on paper, get a good lead, give Odegaard a break, and put young Ethan on for another 30 minutes. That's what I'd like to do. But again, ideal scenarios and everything, it doesn't always work. We'll see. It'll be like you say, one of them games where it'll just go really tight. A bit like last night's game in the Women's Champions League, where it was so tight, it wasn't fun to watch for a large portion of the game. But then they get a goal right in the last minute. Thank you, Matt Roberts. Thank you, Matt Roberts, for providing the video for us from earlier on.
We'll get to the comment about the bloodline in a minute. Probably
I've started
the end. AFC always, you started it, so we will get to that. AFC always says, I heard it from a source. You spelt source as in the ketchup variety.
My favourite source.
AFC, you heard from a source that said Arsenal wouldn't sign a striker in the summer transfer window, and he was right. Well, we didn't. We should have, but we didn't. By the way, we're going to be against Sporting Lisbon very soon, so it'll be
Tuesday, I think.
How Gorkarez does against us. Saka, Odegaard, and Rice did not train Arsenal yesterday.
So, read carefully in the lines in the press conference. It says Bukayo and Rice had their first partial session today. So very good as well. So again, I think I said there's a chance that maybe we might see Sterling play. I know you'd like.
Oh no!
I knew you would. Don't shout me down. Don't you do that. Hear me out. Because I tell you why. Because of that game in the Champions League as well. I think, if needed, Saka can be named on the bench if you want to. And I'm thinking if there's an emergency, he can be used there. I'm thinking if he plays Martinelli, Havertz, and Sterling, that's a possibility. He could even play Trossard, but again, bear in mind, he was an injury doubt as well. And too many injury doubts at this starting the game, I don't think it's a good idea. Amy, do you mind? Do you want to come and say hello to Uncle Posh? Come on,
Hello.
Let's get you involved. Come on, let's give you an earpiece. Come on, you can get involved. Say hello, Uncle Posh.
Hello, Amy.
Hello, Amy.
No, you're Amy. That's Uncle Posh.
It's Uncle Posh.
Yeah. Now, who do you think should play, Amy? Who do you think should play up front?
That's where you're front.
King Kai.
King Kai.
Good girl.
So a ventriloquist there.
Maybe.
What do you think of Raheem Sterling, Amy?
Very good. Very good.
Very good.
Amy, where should people subscribe?
Good.
Good girl.
Yes. There you go. She knows her stuff. Apart from
She
what
knows
she said
her
about
stuff.
Sterling.
Oh,
AFC
goodness.
says hi to Amy, by the way.
Thank you. I'm sure she says hi back. She's ever so excited to be on camera. Amy, you like the cameras, don't you? Yeah. I don't know if you see my Instagram. Check out my Instagram. And yes, she got hold of my phone yesterday, got hold of the TikTok filters, and all of a sudden I aged about 80 years. Bit like I'm doing during this stream. This is chaotic. I knew it would be. I'm so sorry.
One more thing. You said you WhatsApped me saying, "Oh, good to see you, Mile High Hotspur." You WhatsApped me saying there's an interesting comparison between Mikel Arteta and the other Arsenal managers on the Arsenal website. What was that comparison?
Oh, they just gave the table of him, like the wins, and compared to like Wenger and George and all the other. I'm going to see if I can find it. It ain't as easy finding stuff on the computer as it is on the phone, I'll be honest. But
no worries.
Mile
High Hotspur, good to see you. I hope you fellas are well. We're doing good, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see you, mate. It's great to have you here again. Oh, I knew I wouldn't be able to find it either.
Don't worry about it.
No. It just sort of gave the whole breakdown of like. I think his win ratio was even better, or the number of games he's won, of the 250 is actually more than Arsene Wenger, or something like that.
Right.
So I just think that's interesting, especially when we seem to have that that all the time should he stay or should he go? If he stays, there will be trouble. If he goes, there'll be double.
That's the clash that we always have.
That's exactly the clash that we have. That's one of my songs that I've been doing over the gigs,
Excellent. Are you still gigging this weekend?
That's a great question, Posh. Unfortunately, they've sort of, due to budget cuts, I won't be gigging down at the Gardeners until my birthday on the 1st of December. So, if anyone wants to pop down to Chelmsford and Springfield, you can get. I'll sign autographs as well.
Oh, absolutely. Has Storm Bertie, the snow landed where you are? There was snow on Tuesday where I was, but I don't think there is where I am at the moment.
There was a bit of icing sugar on the pavement this morning when I was out at about 6 o'clock this morning, but literally a dusting. There wasn't much. Thankfully, I understand it's going to get bad over the weekend though, so be careful if you're out and about.
Yeah, don't slip on the football pitch, Arsenal players.
Don't go on scooters.
No, absolutely not. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss or about the Arsenal game or something Arsenal related? The women's game, as you mentioned?
Women's game, Matt done a video about the game against Juventus last night. It wasn't the most thrilling game in the world, but Arsenal did win, which means they qualify for the next stage. There's a couple more games to play anyway in the traditional, I think it's a 4-team group. I believe they're going to be playing Bayern Munich quite soon, and that fixture's been moved. I mentioned in the short video that'll be played on the same day as we play Crystal Palace in the League Cup in the men's game, right? So they're going to have to play that at Boreham Wood. Unfortunately, it's all a bit of a. They've had to scramble a bit because of these circumstances of us in the cup. But there you go. Oh, hey, do you know what? Amy's been home today, not because of the snow, but because they've had what they call an insert day, a staff training day. So she spent the day with Nanny, and then when I got home from work, actually the buses were quite kind to me this evening, and I got here probably about 5:30ish, and someone was quite happy to see their daddy rather than beat him up, which has been happening over the last few mornings. Oh dear. Yeah, it's like the glass smashing, and she's been coming on right hands. No, it's not as bad as that.
She's the Jake Paul to your Mike Tyson.
Yeah, she hasn't been pulling them punches though. No. But, no, she was happy to see her daddy tonight, weren't you? Have you been good today, Amy?
Good today.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, this stream has been chaotic, but I don't think I'd have it any other way. But I will. Yes, Posh, go on.
One more question, of course, which we start from AFC always. Which bloodline will The Rock turn to?
Oh, that's difficult, isn't it? Because
as a lapsed fan, I find that very difficult to answer because I've not been keeping up to date with much wrestling in a while. I've been focusing on I've been focusing on other things in my personal life recently.
Yeah.
Hence why I've not been on the channel that much, along with Lee being mad at me for going rogue on my channel. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, Fourth Wall. How you doing? That's in house, sir. Come on. But look, what was the bloodline? Right.
Yeah.
My head goes to Roman Reigns accidentally spearing Rock at Mania, and then the. So wasn't that was Saturday? That was night one. Wasn't
that was night one during the tag match.
Right, and then then night two. Rock came down against, so it was in the one-on-one match, and he practically dismissed Roman. He went straight for Cena, right?
Yeah.
So I see Rock going to New Bloodline in the hillside.
Well, okay, it'll be interesting. AFC was Harry Kane getting a statue, a god-awful statue at that, for winning 0 trophies from 77 attempts in a sport. The game's gone. Have you seen the statue as well? I mean, it's not as bad as Ronaldo's, but...
I was not aware of this. How have I missed a Harry Kane statue? Excuse me, miss. Excuse me. I'm live.
Wow.
People are watching.
People are watching.
Yeah, noisy.
Noisy.
Oh my God! Do you have to put yourself on solo screen there, mate? Hang on.
Check.
Wow. Yeah, he's probably got about as much intelligence as him as well.
Probably speak better English.
Absolutely. As we're bringing up Harry Kane, there was something that was really bothering me over the international week. What did you make of Harry Kane going over the players that were injured and saying, "Oh, it's a bit disrespectful and everything like that, and bit bad that these people are pulling out"?
I didn't know Zippy from Rainbow was speaking about that.
He was George. But
if you're injured, you're injured. You can't do anything about it. If you don't want to get injured, then that's that I understand.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get injured, then you withdraw from the squad. I think Harry Kane's just being whinging a bit.
Oh, I thought you were going to call him something else. No.
Well, it's a family-friendly channel.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, appreciate it. Because if you recall, Saka and Rice went off against Chelsea. Palmer isn't in the Euro. Or is it the Europa League they're in, or where
Conference League, yeah.
Conference League. He's not in their squad because he has a long-standing issue, and the other players like Braithwaite pulled out injured. Who was the other one?
Quite a
Ramsdale.
lot of players pulled out of the
I think there was 9 in the end, wasn't there?
Mm.
But I find it fascinating that Kane says that, and then bear in mind that they're coming in. I think Bayern play maybe one game and then Champions League, and then they're on their winter break. So must be all right over there. Maybe they're doing something right. It just bothered me a little bit, but
Wow.
that is the
way. I think that should do it for us. And very good impromptu stream with the lovely Amy in the background,
and
which
Mrs.
is
M,
always,
of course.
and Mrs. M. How can we forget Mrs. M?
Exactly. Is there anything you want to plug, Mrs. M? No. Follow Mrs. M on her TikTok. She's got some great stuff on there. There you go.
You can also find me on X at Posh Bertie and my Instagram at Bertie Wanless, and I run Gooner Gathering's Instagram account, which is at Gooner Gathering. We watch Arsenal, so you don't have to.
Thank you very much. Of course, you can find me at Goonerly Meads. You can find everyone on the channel at Gooner Gathering, and I would imagine we'll resurface. There may be a video dropping tomorrow, depending on situation. There's an academy game, and if I remember, isn't it Arsenal against Aston Villa? I think it is. Keep an eye on the Twitter X, and I'll let you know when that goes out. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're out of here. So thank you for watching, and love you. Bye.